Right, it's the 15th of May. It's about 1:15. Come here, this way. I just want to show, if you're watching this, oh sorry, UBK John Bosley, or UBK Bosley. Just have a look at my face there. This is the face of a rampant alcoholic and lunatic, as you can see from the poxmasked face. The red well, a bit brown because there was a bit of sun a couple of days ago. What I do is I periodically, if I'm in a position which I haven't really been before, this bad, where even to the extent I'm capable of critical thinking and understanding this position and what's my part in it, and how am I responsible, what did I do wrong, where's my accountability. Even if I do all that, and even if an outsider looks at this, well, he's an arsehole, that Bosley bloke, he's a prick. He got in trouble with the police, he got the wrong impression. He shouldn't have spoken to the council like he did. He shouldn't have sent them moronic emails, the drunken emails. I get all that. Yeah, he deserves all he gets. You don't want to stop having kids having fun. Right, first of all, do I deserve all I get? That's fine. If you're of that opinion, you're entitled. Stopping kids having fun. Nothing could be further from the truth. I love seeing kids having fun. I wish I had a bit more fun when I was a kid. You probably do yourself. I never had fucking purpose-made skate parks anywhere near me. If I did ever go skateboarding, it was with a bunch of older mates from Reading to the festival hall or the South Bank. We used to go in the car park under the I think it was a festival hall, the South Bank, and skate park. Usually get mugged by a gang of older local, London kids, and then your fags would get nicked, or your money, or you'd hide your train fare home if you had it, and you get mugged, and then you carry on skateboarding. Well, there was one where my brothers lived in Stockwell. I can't see it. There's grass everywhere. Look, the ball's green. Where is it? Go and get it. Go and get it. Good girl. Where is it? So this fight with the council, this is what I'm defending, okay? This is all I wanted. You can tell it's near, it's near other people. There's neighbours everywhere, but it's not overlooked, which is why I chose it. And it feels like I'm in the middle of a countryside. But I don't have to drive anywhere, I don't have to walk anywhere. I can just spend time with her. She's the only thing I trust or believe in or think has any bond with me at all, other than not to harm me or to take the piss out of me or to misunderstand me or to whatever. So in the process of doing that, I wanted to be able to just live here feeling safe as a bonus, because I'm not in Beirut or Kabul. I'm in Exeter, the southwest city, the jewel of the southwest. It's a beautiful city, that's why I chose it. The neighbours when I first moved in were brilliant, absolutely spot on. Even guy next door, fantastic, lovely couple, absolutely brilliant. But they've been convinced, or told by my ex-wife that I tried to strangle her and then threw her out the door. You don't do both, do you? I want her out. So the police didn't bother to look at footage which had been taken a couple of days before by somebody who hates me now, my oldest brother, an ex-para, an ex-prison officer, tried to get into the police. Potentially, I don't know for what reason he couldn't get in, but he didn't. But he took a video on my behest, so I phoned him when, night after night, we went through the same thing. She would take Roxy, who's the only thing I prize in life now. Used to be my health, but I've said goodbye to that now. And she would barricade herself in the room, in the bedroom that we were supposed to live in, but I couldn't live in the house with her because she was drinking. I don't blame her on the face of it. She was trying to look after parents that were in the last throes of life. On top of the fact that, come on then, on top of the fact that she didn't hold them in high regard at that time, because I don't know all the details of this, but I just know she was cut out of a significant amount of her inheritance because of, I don't know, there was a bit of animosity between her mum and dad and her, with regard to her, I don't know, there was never a good relationship. Elsa was a lot closer to her mum and was a lot more of a, it's going to sound disrespectful, but I don't wish it to be. She was much more quieter, wallflower, just no malice in her. Simple girl, a nice looking girl, no jagged edges, if you like, just an ordinary girl, you know, married another Marine, well, he was a proper Marine, a good lad, I knew him, not well, but I knew him, and I had the utmost respect for him. He did very well in the Marines. He did some very, very demanding courses in the Marines, and was, by all accounts, a very good Marine. And I have no reason not to doubt that. I have no reason to doubt that. I always found him an upright guy. But he took her up to Scotland when he left the Marines, and I think she found the life up there a little bit of a drastic change from her life close to mum and dad in Devon. She found it so hard that my ex-wife went to stay with her for a month, and then when she left there after, she went up there for a year, I think, while we were split up, as we did all the time. I think it was to help her sister. Well, her sister remained there after Lisa left for a year, and then continued a rapid descent into alcoholism, which she brought back down to her family here for several years. I met her a few times while she was going through it, and I desperately wanted to get her sectioned. I know, because her family have money, you know, they could have helped her. They should have helped her, forced, I don't know, locked her somewhere, stopped her drinking. But they just seemed powerless, and I know most people are in those situations. But she died, and my ex-wife's parents decided that their money or their inheritance that they leave should be shared equally between the two children of Elsa, that were the production of her and Alex, the ex-Marine, and Lisa. Now, I don't think Lisa was very happy about that, to say the least. I don't know what the figures were. I never really understood what she was supposed to get. It was sizable, I think, maybe a couple of hundred, I think, initially, and then it was reduced when the changes were made to the will, which she wasn't happy with. But I don't think she was included, and she railed against it, and it didn't seem fair, I suppose, or that's what I was told. But it's, you know, she hasn't earned the money; it's not her money, so she should be grateful. I think she's been too dependent on it, if I'm honest, because hence her living mainly on other people, not just me, for the majority of her adult life. And poor Ian, her first husband, he didn't fare too well after meeting her, that's for sure. And I knew him. I didn't know him personally, but I knew of him. I used to knock about and drink with his brother occasionally, many, many years ago. And they were a decent family, just an ordinary family, the Davies. Guy I used to go for a drink with, just a regular guy. You know, at that age we all used to bullshit to each other and tell each other tall stories. He was no different, just a regular guy, good lad. Ian, my ex's former husband, the guy who hung himself just not that long after they separated, him having lost his house, I believe, and lost his job, and Oldham Arsenal, which in them days was a very, very, very secure job for life and well paid and whatever, and he had to go and live with his parents, and he hung himself, so he didn't do well. And she moved on to me, and I thought I was saving her from a horrible person who was stopping her getting all her stuff and being horrible. So she moved into my digs with me just after I left the army, and then my dalliance into criminality and getting done for this and done for that and accused of this began with aplomb. Have I ever frightened people or grabbed people or restrained people or pinned a woman? Oh yeah, of course I have. Have I been attacked by women? Yes, I have. Even blokes like me get attacked by women. I say even, I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I'm 5'9". I don't like arguing with women. I don't do it if I can avoid it. It just doesn't, it never, it sounds sexist, it sounds basic, but men argue usually with logic unless they're drunk. Women they argue with emotions. They have bigger emotions than we do. They're better equipped with emotions. We're not. And the shitty emotions we have got, we're told to stifle. So fucking what chance have we got? And you want us to fucking understand every nuance of every emotion. We can't. Well, I can't. Can't even understand mine. I don't know if I've got any. Well, if I do, they come out the wrong way in the wrong time and cause the wrong effect. Anyway, this is what I'll try to defend. The council misled everybody about what they were doing. And it's easy to prove because when they release the details, even to their own councillors, because of course don't forget they approve their own plans. They approve whatever they put is fine because they approve it. So if they put the noise of the activity of the skate park will be masked by the passing trains. Now think about that. The definition of a passing train means it's passing, it goes past for a couple of seconds and then it's gone. The noise of the activity isn't, but the train's gone. How does that qualify as mitigation for something that will disturb anybody who lives nearby if it's the only noise there? And the trains are not going to provide a mask, are they? They are going to for 4 seconds, 5 seconds every hour during the day from 5:30 till 11:30 midnight. But then what provides protection? Nothing. No sound barrier, nothing. And yet, when I asked them, what are the heights of the ramps? I mean, how far is the noise going to travel? Are these people going to be, and me, are we going to be disturbed? It's all on the drawing. Well, it's not, is it? Because you've put the details, the drawings in plan view from above, but you need to look at it from side view. How high is it in relation to the roofs over here? How high is it next to that bigger railway embankment that kept all the noise away from the old people? Oh, well, what's the datum? You put a value, where's the datum? That means nothing. I can't look at that and go, well, that's how high it is now. Yeah, I see that. Oh, yeah, it's not a problem. That'll be all right. Well, hang on a minute, that's going to be a problem. And it was a problem, but they didn't want anyone to know it because the people who they thought would be looking, if they can negotiate the website, and let's face it, the majority of people live underneath these things, and they do live underneath them, underneath the ramps made of concrete and metal, being hit by fiberglass and metal. It makes a noise, and the skateboarders admit it. So Devon County Council were building a similar type of structure, not a similar type, a similar structure. Metal with flooring, a footbridge, a cycle bridge across a road next to the skate park at more or less the same time. So, same authority, if you like, Devon County, Exeter City, both doing similar jobs in similar ways. Both in some way accountable to the people they serve and to explain what they're doing so that people can put input if it's going to cause a problem or say, congratulations, well done, brilliant, what a great idea. So they put drawings on which show the plan of how long it is, how wide it is, where it's going to go, where it's going to sit, but also a drawing of the height of the footbridge in relation to the roofs and gardens of people that live there, so that the people that live there have a rough idea of how much people can see into their gardens or not, how much the noise is going to carry over all their gardens if there's people going across. And the footpath has never been a problem because it was designed with that in mind. You know, we don't want noisy track across the top of the road. We don't want it rumbling as bikes or electric bikes go across. We don't want people to be able to access stuff to lob on cars because the odd person will do it. So there's never been a problem with the footbridge. You wouldn't even know it was there. Okay, because they engaged. Whereas Devon County Council intentionally hid the fact that the ramps were going to be at a height that makes no construction or consideration sense at all. And it was all going to be done and unlocked 24 hours a day adjacent to a big car park which is known to be used by kids who want to have a little skid about in cars late at night. Why wouldn't they? Each of these lads, and they are lads, just wants to have a skid about for a couple of minutes, piss off home, job done. But what they can't understand, and what they're not going to understand at that age, is that Well, lots and lots of other people want to do that. So as soon as you drive up the road, Alan comes from the other side of town and he wants to have a go. And then Marcus comes over, and then Bob and Harry. And it goes on and on. So the poor bastards that live with it all the time. And it wakes their kids, or it wakes somebody who stayed, or it wakes a guest, or there's no need for it. And I know that because I used to be a builder before I became a psychopathic, drunken lunatic who scares the bejesus out of people that I used to adore. I still do. They're lovely people. They're just confused because they've never seen a man have a breakdown before. But if the council had come round and smashed my legs up and broken my legs and made me have to get around in a wheelchair, I'm sure I'll get doors open for me and fucking ramps made. But because they fucked my head up and took away my means of earning a living, my means of escape, they didn't look into the reasons why I was doing the private hire driving when they took the licence away from me, for being rude. For being rude to the person that is ultimately responsible for allowing this to happen. For being rude to him, for assessing him as a slopey-shouldered bastard. And would he be comfortable inflicting this same kind of environment on his own elderly parents? Now, if that comment, based on my experience and the experience of others around me that were living with this scheme, if that's extreme and deserves somebody losing his livelihood, which it wasn't at the time, it was a cathartic exercise I did at my own expense to try and mitigate the effects of the suicide of one of my people, one of my men at the Olympic Stadium, which was put down as an accident at work, a fall from height, but he jumped. He folded all his PP up and jumped. And I knew he was going to do it, and I failed to stop it. And I'd failed to stop another worker 3 years prior to that, 3 or 4 years prior to that, from doing the same thing, not jumping off the Olympic Stadium roof, but floodlights, but sneaking off and hanging himself because of gambling debts that I wasn't aware of, despite working with him for a couple of years on different projects. And he was my right hand man on all of them, and a good lad, big bull of a Polish lad, good boy he was. But he had demons, he had gambling debts, and he was not paying his bills and doing shit right, and he hung himself. I just wanted somewhere to rest. And yes, my background has been difficult, so have a lot of yours. I'm no different. I've had to deal with it alone, mentally, because a lot of people that were causing the problems were the people closest to me, and that'll be the same for a lot of you. I'm not a danger to the police. I wish the police would leave me alone and go and get their statistics and their additional arrests and their bullshit somewhere else, okay? You would not do a protest, albeit drunkenness, or fueled by drink, and it was petulant, it was juvenile, it was stupid. But at the time I didn't know that I wasn't ready to go. I had forgotten that I'd bought a house I wouldn't have touched, and I'm now in a fight with the people regarding this who admitted culpability but have denied any knowledge of being told several years ago when the situation could have been remedied. I could have been compensated, got this house put back in shape, sold it for what I bought it and gone. Got out, got away. People in Exeter, if you're happy with the way things are done here, great, not a problem. Mum, it's not for me. It's not for me. As far as I'm concerned, Exeter, I can't prove that Exeter City Council killed my friend Paul English, but I'll tell you what, they can't prove that they made his life particularly pleasant in the last 5 years of his life, because he spent that, for one reason or another, his only obligation, because he did work for friends, he just did things to keep busy, really. He had his financial situation squared away. He used to go and help people, so I think he likes to be out and about. And all of a sudden he dies of a massive heart attack after, I can't remember what the incidents were. Oh yeah, stones raining down on his house for 6 weeks at all hours. 6 weeks, police found 3 weeks, 3 times in 1 week, and then similar amount of times, about 5 or 6 times. And again, I didn't know about this at the time because we weren't in contact. But he would have to get up at silly o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock at night, get dressed, get in his car, start his car, obviously, go round the corner several turns up into the skate park on his own at 70 years old and engage with joyriders and ask them politely to leave. I wouldn't do that. That's too risky today. I wouldn't do it anyway, because you know it'd be easier to spot where I live and you get after effects. But for a 70-year-old man to feel obliged to do that on about 6 or 7 occasions in the period before he dies of a massive heart attack, I don't think coincidence. Excuse me. Where is it? Where's the ball? Oh, you're on this now. You're on this now. Where's the ball? Don't lose the ball, because I'll never get it back. It will never come back, will it? Because it's going to disappear into the grass for the summer. Yeah, let me kick it. Yes, you can. Go on. Back. Good girl. What's this? Right, let's do a good one. Go back. Go back. Good girl. Good girl. Ready? Yay! She's a clever girl. She isn't she? Yeah, she is. This is what I was fighting for, just a bit of peace. I get it now during the day. I can't work now. Can't secure my dog. I don't want anyone to steal her, because, oh God, people want her more than ever. Because clear they want me to box me into. I can't work. I can't go and travel and see friends. The friends I do have left, the ones who weren't familiar with Lisa and her spellbinding accounts of life. The life that she kept coming back to time and time again whenever she'd run out of spending somebody else's money. But that's what people do. And some people need mugs, and that's what I've done. I've been a mug. It happens, and I've mugged off other people, I'm sure, in my life, in their opinion. Sometimes you're the fly, and sometimes you're the windscreen. Something like that. So this here's the house of a thug. An arch criminal, bloke who spends his life just looking for people to beat up, because even the police will tell you that my criminal record going back, it's extensive over the last 15 years, there's no doubt about that. But it's all for threats, malicious threats, threatening behaviour, causing distress and alarm by threats, swearing, threats. I've got 2 assaults in my background, I think. One might be as serious as an ABH. But I think it's a common assault I've got from years ago. I have been charged and punished for everything, every accusation leveled against me. Everything. Even I've defended myself and gone back to the house and asked this significant other to phone the police. She clearly phoned the police, and I went out there to get this bloke. I was going up the shops with her when she was about, I don't know, 2-3 months old, I think. Tiny. So I go and pick a fight with a bloke that's been picking a fight with me for about a year, but I wait till a Sunday morning when I know I'm going to get locked up for a whole Sunday if I go and do anything before dinner and before going back to work or whatever. And I'll take her on the lead on the way to shops. I'll go and have a fight with him now, but I'll let him come up to me and attack me from behind and push me over a car bonnet and roll about and then try and bite my nose off and then try and bite my finger off. Luckily she slipped her lead and just ran straight home, because it was only about 10 metres away. And luckily this man's wife did not say that she had witnessed anything, because she could have gone along with him quite easily. And respect to her, respect for her for being so honest. I could never fathom that. She could have easily said, yes, you know, I saw the whole thing, because the police wanted to do me for GBH. And all I said to him was, when he was jeering at me, as he always does when I walk past his house, I said, look, why do you do this? You know, your kids are standing there. If you're that enamoured by doing this, that and the other to me, we'll go over the ranges and sort it out. You know, your kids must be ashamed of you. Just keep calling me out and just never doing anything. And as soon as I turn around to walk across the road with her, he's leaping on my back and pulling me over a car bonnet. And I nearly got done for GBH for defending myself. I can't actually defend myself here anymore. This is the fence I put up. Well, actually, I paid somebody to put that up because I don't want to be peering into his garden. That's not the efforts of somebody who wants to have a constantly antagonistic relationship with somebody. I just wanted him to get on with his life and leave me alone. If he doesn't like me, he's quite entitled. Not a problem. It'd be nice if he didn't put a grinder on every time me or my guests come into the garden, and others have noticed that, not me. I knew it was going on, but I ignore it. But now that the police situation is now totally quiet, he comes out and puts his washing on, does his garden, which there's no issue with that. But when he comes out and puts the grinder on, the minute you sit out here with a cup of tea, which is why I put the screen up so he can't see, he can't do that. It's that bad, and that's where I live. There it is, that's my home. It's a cabin, and that's how big it is. And it's insulated to a degree, but it's absolutely freezing in the winter. And means that everything I do that's administrative wise has to be done in the house. So I have to go to and from, washing, drying, ironing, cooking, showering. And if you've got a guest and a mate is staying, or guests or whatever, I've got to stay out here. And I stayed out here because I can't live at the front of the house, because I need that building between me and the chaos that they caused out there. The council can't be held responsibility for the deterioration in society generally, although their ilk can be. But there's a massive drugs problem around here. I didn't realise that. And then it's obviously got worse in the years since I've moved down here. Not because I've moved down here, but because it's just, life is getting harder for people. They're all turning to drugs and alcohol. I wouldn't have done this, and I wouldn't have got into any of this trouble at all, not a bit, had Exeter City Council acted like Exeter City Council and not a gang looking after their own interests, which is what they've done, and I can prove it. I've got all the drawings. Now you will be asked one day, why did you do these drawings which held and disguised the information, and yet another authority, exactly the same position as you, puts on, excuse me, another authority puts on all the details crystal clear, so even if you're not technically proficient, you can just look at the drawings. If that's that height, that's this height. Oh right, yes, it's above the roof, but they can't actually see into our garden. It's not game over yet. I didn't want this, but I have to finish it, and I've had to make a decision to go the whole way with this, and I'm going to do that now. I can't go anywhere until other things are done. I'm not going to go here and sit and wait for you to pick me up and die. Once I go to prison, you'll get me again, because you almost got me last time. Refuse medical assistance. Give a medical assistance or the cream I needed for my feet so I could walk a day before my release, despite asking for it the day after getting in prison. 4 weeks later I get a tube of cream. Phone not returned home so I could carry on, keeping in contact with business associates through people. I didn't expect to go to prison, not for £129 worth of criminal damage, but when the police turn up with a pack of lies because they've got to justify the statement they were acting on intelligence that I'd been trained in something or other 40 years ago. Big deal. So thousands of people. What you should have relied on is the intelligence you got direct from me, saying that I was absolutely at the end of my tether with my living conditions, and the failure to correspond in any meaningful, adult, grown-up, honest, transparent way with a bloke who was mentally, desperately struggling now with what was unfolding in front of his house at the behest of these designers and these planners of this facility. And if people want to take that as me having to go to the skateboarders, then go get an education. Okay, it's not. I want the skateboarders to be safe. Even the idiots who go down there at night, there's a reason they go down at night and cause problems. Some of them are complete wankers, but some of them have problems. And it'd be a great place to identify them. I've done it myself a couple of times with a geezer. As I said, whizzing up and down on his bike at 4 in the morning when I went over there to walk Roxy, which I go when people aren't about in the skate park, or, idiots or junkies or whatever. But he was off his nuts. He was about my bit younger than me, probably 8 years younger than me. Clearly on some gear. I'm not well versed in all the other aspects of what goes on now, drugs wise. I know about marijuana and its benefits, but all this other stuff, spice, God knows, I don't know what it's all called. Anyway, I ended up chatting to him because I was a bit concerned about him, because he's whizzing up and down like a man possessed on a bicycle on his own. He ended up with a cup of tea and a bacon sandwich here, and then he farted about in the bag. It wasn't there then, it was over by the barbecue area. and got rid of his energy, if you like, and then buggered off. And he used to pop in and now and again let me know he's all right, and he's back in prison. I didn't want this fight, I didn't ask for this fight, and I tried and tried and tried to run away, and even told you people. So either the police are acting on really bad intelligence and just, all they do, they don't protect anybody now except the very well off and the people that give them the orders. They just gather statistics. So if you punch a bloke in the face and they come and see you, you'll get done for punching a bloke in the face, resisting arrest, preparing for the police, I don't know, when you're arrested you shout back to your fucking, don't forget the keys, oh, causing distress alarm in the street. So they up their statistics because the police only 97% of all crime in the UK goes undetected or unprosecuted. 94% I think it is. 94%. In what other realm of any other profession or any other job would that kind of performance be even tolerated for a couple of seconds? But we do. That's because they're too busy collecting fines and imprisoning us. God's love to you all. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing that is done for me. Right, message over and beam me up, Scotty.